are there and
Okay.
as you like, madam.
They will join, sir. They will join.
Oh, then no problem. Please go ahead, madam. We'll begin.
Let us start the session with a silent prayer. Good evening. Now I call Professor Janathanan to give welcome address and introduce our resource person.
Yes, good evening. Yes, ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right. Good evening to one and all. A warm welcome to each and everyone together in this program. My heartfelt welcome to our chief guest of the day. Welcome you, sir. I'm happy to introduce our chief guest today's program. Once again, good evening to everybody. I am profusely overjoyed to take the opportunity to introduce our chief guest of the day. He is none other than Dr. Ramaswamy, College Librarian, M.E. Muthaiya Government Arts College for Women, Dindigul, Tamil Nadu. Such qualification is M.Com, MLIS, and PhD. SAR cleared JRF in 2 times and NET 6 times and SET in 1 times. Respected sir got 3 gold medal in UG and PG at Gandhigram. Sir is a rank holder in BLS and MLIS. Sir's teaching experience is more than 16 years in schools levels and 6 years in college levels. Sir, academic project is developed 10 academic blogs, including 1 library blog with 40 lakhs visitors. Sir published various books and 84 articles in national and international levels and published 69 articles in referred national and international journals. Sir won 7 best paper awards in various LIS, that is Library Information System, conferences, and he contributed 57 book chapters in edited books. Sir prepared course material for Sri Lankan Open University. Subject is library and information science. Sir completed a minor research project of ₹1 lakhs of Tamil Nadu State Council for Higher Education, Chennai in 2018. Respected sir, delivered nearly 105 special lectures in various institutions in all over the India. Respected sir, organized many seminars in state level, national level, and international levels. Are using SPSS in February 2020 also. Is a coordinator of a 3 days online course on statistical analysis using SPSS conducted by Maya's research in group in May 2020. Delivered 5 video talks and webinar in 2020. Acted as a resource person for 8 All India in Service course held at JIET Mysore. Respected sir is a review board member of 2 LIS journals and editorial board member of multidisciplinary journals. Sir is an associate editor of a conference volume, associate editor of 2 edited books. Sir delivered a radio talk on National Librarian Day in 2007. It is a radio channelist Pasumai FM 90.4. Respected sir, won KVS Regional Incentive Award from KVS RO Chennai in 2012. He attended 18 seminars and workshops and 40 webinars in 2020. Respected sir is a member of SA, LIS, ILA, KLA, ALA, and IAS LIC. He served as session rapporteur, session chairperson, and conference rapporteur in many conferences and seminars. He organized 25 Scotch campus in South Indian for KVS. His favorite areas like blogs, institutional repositories, metric studies, user studies, and open source softwares. He is a master trainer in Intel Check. His academic activities is a member of Board of Studies, Erode Arts and Science College, and is a Board of Studies member in Sri Jayaraj Angappan Arts and Science College. Sir is additional responsibilities is a member of NEC committee, member in Autonomous Committee, member in Building Committee at GV Muttaya Government Arts College. Really, it's a great pleasure to introduce your profile, sir. Thank you, sir, for accepting our invitation and gracing the occasion. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Right.
Madam, my PPT is visible, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Visible, sir.
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
okay,
sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Research is to see what everybody else has seen and to think what nobody has taught. Albert S.G., the most respected and honorable director and secretary of the college, academic director, principal, vice principals of Patrician College of Arts and Science, the most beloved conveners, Dr. Sweetie ma'am, and IQAC coordinator, Professor Daniel, organizing secretaries, senior faculty members, and other faculty members of Patrician College of Arts and Science, and the beloved participants who represent various institutions across the country and abroad. Very, very pleasant and a joyful and a fruitful evening to each and every one of you. It gives me immense pleasure to be a part of this online faculty development program being organized by the college. At the outset, let me take this opportunity to thank the organizers, especially Sweetie Madam, for having given me this wonderful opportunity of meeting you all in this online forum. At the same time, I take this opportunity to congratulate the Department of Commerce, Secondship, and IQAC for this wonderful initiative. So today, be the last day of this 8 days program, I am given the responsibility of talking to you about plagiarism, how to combat it, and why should we combat it. So dear participants, we are all in the process of doing research, maybe because of your own self-interest or because of the motivation given by your academic institution, or thanks to the procedures, the marks given by various accreditation agencies like NAC or ACT accreditation or ISO standardization. So when you go for all these kinds of accreditation processes, research has got its own importance. Maybe when you want to go for some other jobs, you need your research publications. Even for your CAS promotions, you need research publications. So because of all these reasons, one or the other reason, we all publish papers. Fine. So basically, what is research? You know very well. So research is a systematic process by which either we are trying to find out something new, we are trying to invent something very new, we are trying to discover very new, or we take some old things, old concepts, old theories, and we like to apply those theories in new environments, in new situations, in new places. So that's what research is all about. So research can be, especially when you talk about higher education, The research can be either a PG project done by a student or a MPhil dissertation, or it can be a PhD thesis done by a faculty member or research scholar, or it can be a postdoctoral research work of a teacher, or it can be research projects or journal articles or books, book chapters, conference papers being contributed by the research scholars and the faculty members. So research can be anything of these things. But when somebody asks you, what are the various components or parts of a research paper? Maybe you have been studying all the 8 days. So you'll be able to tell me different parts of a research paper or a research work. Be starting from title, author, institutional affiliation, then we have abstract, then keywords, then introduction, then review of literature, then methodology, objectives, hypothesis, sample selection, then tools for data collection, then data analysis, then findings, suggestions, conclusion, list of reference. These are the basic components of a research work. But if somebody asks me, what are the components of a research paper? I would tell them there are only two parts. The one part, what you write on your own, and the part, what you borrow from others. See, basically, you can ask a question, sir, do I have to borrow materials from others when I write my research work? So definitely and exactly 99.2%. Okay. Whenever you write a research paper, you need to take content from others' papers. Maybe when you're writing your introduction, the thesis or research paper, when you're writing the introduction part of your research paper, you need to get some information from other papers. And when it comes to literature review, so you have to collect maybe 30, 40, 50 literature reviews. You have to present a consolidated, an analytical, a synthetical view of all the research works done by previous researchers, maybe by quoting their objectives, their methodology, their findings, their suggestions, so that you will be able to find out the research gap existing in any particular subject. Fine. So to write the review of literature section of your research work, you need to depend on others' content. And after finding your research papers with valued inferences, when you come to the discussion section of your research paper, obviously you have to depend on others' content. In discuss section, what we do? So we are trying to find out to what extent our papers are aligning with the findings of other papers, and to what extent our findings are against or contrasting or disagreeing with the findings of others. So obviously in the discussion section, you need to borrow and take the content of others. But thanks to internet, thanks to ICT, availability of lots and millions of websites and thousands of open access journals. So what happens here? This is what happens in the era of internet, when people are trying to write the papers, their research performances. This is what happens. Fine. See, some years before, a teacher from Indian Institute of Information Technology was charged against plagiarism for having copied some content of her research paper. Fine. And there was singer John Bon Jovi. So since he has stolen some of the verses of some personalities, and he had made use of those verses as a part of his album, and he sold millions and millions of cassettes and CDs. He got a very good amount. So he was sued for this plagiarism to the tune of $400 billion. Then there was a president of Hamilton College who resigned from his job in 2003 because of plagiarism. And there is a minister who resigned because of plagiarism in Kenya. And in 2007, in Yogyo University, a student by name Thomas, so when he submitted his PhD work, his PhD was rejected because of plagiarism. So he got annoyed. He went to the university library. He spent a couple of months and he searched, explored all the PhD theses done in his particular department. And he came with a particular finding. What is that? He found that out of the total thesis available in his department, there was one thesis with more than 50 plagiarism pages. There was another thesis wherein 14 pages were copied as such, exactly copied. There are 55 theses where there was a possibility of seeing some kind of plagiarism. Fine. So he reported. So what happened? What is the outcome of this particular finding? So they revoked one particular degree. They recommended 12 people to rewrite their thesis, and they decided not to disturb 22 cases because they did not warrant any such problems. And later on what happened was that the department chairperson was dismissed, and the professor who was in charge of 11 plagiarized theses, he was dismissed. And another professor who was involved in 5 such cases, he was put on a probation period of 2 years. So this is what happens. So plagiarism is a menace which has popped into the higher education scenario these days. Everyone talks about plagiarism. So what is this plagiarism is all about? So the term plagiarism is derived from Latin word, which means a kidnapper. See, the term was first used by the literate Ben Jonson long back in 1601 to mean that his verses were stolen by, were kidnapped by some people. Fine. That is what the origin of the term plagiarism. So what is plagiarism? It's very simple. You do your research. To your research, you need to take content from others. You take some ideas, methods, methodologies, findings, suggestions, opinions, whatever it may, you take something from others and you're using them in your research work without thanking them. You are presenting all those borrowed ideas in your research work as if they're all your own, instead of openly accepting that these are the things I have taken from so and so. You are claiming as if they are your own. That is what we call as plagiarism. Fine. So people have got different names. Some say copy and paste, stealing, academic dishonesty, borrowing, idea theft. Whatever you call plagiarism is plagiarism. Please have a look at my screen. See, this is the original text. You can see here. And I just would like to tell you what kind of actions, what kind of activities of yours in preparing your research work will constitute what we term as plagiarism. Fine. Because the best way to compare plagiarism is to understand what is plagiarism, what and all is plagiarism, what is not plagiarism. That we should have a clear understanding of it. See, this is the original text. See, one particular author, when he's doing his research, he has copied the entire text as such, and he reproduced in his research work. So this is plagiarism, which is not accepted. Good. And another author, same text, he has taken the same text as such, he has reproduced. The only difference between the previous one and this one is that here he has added the name of the author. Then also it is plagiarism because he has copied the entire content as such. Since it's a direct quotation, he has not given the quotation mark for the sentences what they have borrowed. So it is plagiarism. And third one, same original content. There's another person, he just changed the place of sentences from one place to another place. See, second sentence is taken as the first sentence here. The first sentence can be taken as the last sentence. So sentences are simply rearranged. And the researcher is given the name of the author from whom the material is borrowed. Even this is plagiarism because he has not written anything new. He has simply changed the order of sentences. So this is plagiarism. Another author, same content. What he did was, he read the original content. He understood the meaning of the original content. He grasped the ideas and he presented the ideas in his own style, in his own language, using his own words. It's original. But this is plagiarism because after paraphrasing the original content, he failed to acknowledge, he failed to attribute it to the original author. So even this is plagiarism. The last case, the original content is taken, it is rewritten in a different way without losing its meaning. But here, after completely paraphrasing the original content, the researcher has added the author's name with year and page number. So this is what the accepted way of taking content from others and using it. Fine. So what kind of things, what kind of my activities will be termed as plagiarism? Let us understand it very, very clearly. See, when you're copying text, you're copying ideas, or concepts, research results. You are copying some statistical tables. You are copying some computer programs, some designs, some images, some sounds. All these things can be termed as plagiarism. See, sometimes some students, what they do is that same assignment, they will submit twice, or two different teachers, or two different occasions, they will submit the same assignment. See, even that is a kind of plagiarism. See, for example, you 3 or 4 people are joining together and doing the work. Once the work is completed, one person, he is presenting the entire work as if he has done the entire work. Even that is termed as plagiarism. See, Hong Kong Polytechnic University, they have listed what will constitute a plagiarism is. They say, for example, as a student, you may copy something from another student and you will go and submit it as if it is your work. So that is plagiarism. If you're copying something from internet or books or journals or the newspapers, they're all plagiarism. So you're copying a sentence, you're making only very few changes here and there. That is plagiarism. So you take various sentences, various paragraphs from various research papers, you combine them together and you present as if they're all your own work. That is plagiarism. Or in fact, you and your friend, you are doing 2 independent research works together. Once work is over, you get all these ideas, all these writings, you combine and you present it as if it's your own. Even that is termed as plagiarism. See, University of Malaya, they've given a long list of items. See, after borrowing some ideas from others, if you are not acknowledging them properly, all these activities will be termed as plagiarism. See, without getting permission, without acknowledging, you are copying the title of others, title of other thesis, title of other article. That is plagiarism. See, you get verbal consent from the author and without acknowledging, you are using his work. That is plagiarism. So there's an unpublished work. You take the unpublished work. You feel that it is only unpublished work. Nobody knows about it. You use it without acknowledging. So that is plagiarism. You are making use of the graphs, diagrams, charts, drawings, models, pictures, photographs, and movies of others. That is plagiarism without acknowledging. You are, see, somebody have done some academic research. They have some kind of data. You take this data and you extract and incorporate that data without acknowledging in your research. That is termed as plagiarism. Not only that, for example, you do as a research, you do a team research. You get some research data. So without getting the concurrence of all other co-workers, if you are presenting your research data as if they are your own without acknowledging them, even that is termed as plagiarism. See, for example, you are paying somebody to write your thesis. You are paying some money to others to write your research paper, a review paper. So that is plagiarism. You go to online, see, there are n number of companies, they are selling research papers. You tell a topic, they'll give a paper, you have to pay money. So that kind of purchasing a written paper or downloading a free paper from online sources, so plagiarism. Fine. And you're purchasing somebody's report. That is also plagiarism. See, when you are not contributed anything to a particular research, you are asking others to include your name as a contributor. So that is termed as plagiarism. Or you are doing others' work, others' coursework, others' research work, others' examination, you are doing, that is plagiarism. See, even when you're using references, if you are not using the references properly, incorrectly, if you're fabricating, that is also termed as plagiarism. So all these activities are brought under the umbrella term of plagiarism. Fine. So basically a question comes here, why do people plagiarize? What may be the reason that propel them to go for plagiarism? See, in the case of faculty members, you can listen to all these kinds of excuses. So lack of time, so maybe as a head of the department or as a research person, you have a lot of work, teaching work, administrative work, so we don't have time. We are really very busy. So that was the reason why we go for copying others. Or there's a pressure. Maybe next year I have to get 6,000 to 7,000 or 7,000 to 8,000. So there's a pressure. Or sometimes competition from my colleagues. So my department people, they are publishing a lot of papers, but I am not able to do that. That pressure make me get into some shortcuts. Or some kind of laziness, negligence, or we have some kind of lack of awareness. So we don't know the problems of, we don't know the intricacies of plagiarism. Sometimes we don't have knowledge in a particular field. So why to take risk? Let us copy from others. And sometimes fear of failure. So I have fear that if I do give only my content, the papers may not be accepted. So let me include some good words and phrases taken from others. So that's why we all go for some kind of plagiarism. What about the students? Students also have got another list of reasons why they do plagiarize. See, they say everyone does it. So everybody is doing it. Why shouldn't I do it? So that kind of mentality is prevailing. Some students, they say that I am very busy. See, same time, same week, I have to submit 3 or 4 subject projects. I don't have time to concentrate, sit and do all the project in the short span of time. I was very busy. So there's no other go. I should make you some kind of shortcuts. And they say that this assignment was very boring. See, I am interested only in mathematics and science. I don't like history. So when the professor is asking me to write a project on history, so obviously I go for copying contents. And even some people, they say, it's okay if I don't get caught. So as long as I am not going to caught, as long as I am not going to punish, no problem. Let me continue copying from others. And sometimes students say, my parents and teachers, they expect a lot from me. They always want me, my parents always want me to get A grade. Is it possible? So I have to make use of all these kinds of plagiarized techniques. So there are many reasons why students or faculty members, they indulge in plagiarism. Fine. Okay, so we have understood what constitutes plagiarism. Now let us discuss about what are the various types of plagiarism. See, broadly, you can divide the plagiarism into 2 categories. One is intentional plagiarism and unintentional plagiarism. In the intentional plagiarism, you copy content purposefully. You know that you are copying the content, you do that. That is intentional plagiarism. For example, you copy some free papers from the internet, or you buy papers from online markets, or you copy, you go to Web of Science or Scopus or ICI, you download a paper, you use it as if your own paper. So that kind of thing. Or there is a beautiful article in Hindi. You read Hindi, you understand it, and you write in English and publish it as if it is your own paper. So that is intentional plagiarism. Or last year, some professors, some students might have done some project, same thing you're copying, this time you're submitting it. So that is intentional plagiarism. You go to 10 to 15 articles, you collect some sentences, paragraphs from all those papers, stitch them together, and you publish it as a new paper of yours. That is intentional plagiarism. And sometimes, since you have to add some references, you are adding some fictitious, non-existent references. That is also intentional plagiarism. Fine. And what about the unintentional plagiarism? Sometimes even it becomes intentional also, but unintentional plagiarism usually happens out of ignorance, out of lack of knowledge or awareness on the issue. For example, you are making use of a quotation. Only part of the quotation you have enclosed with quotation marks. The remaining you leave it alone as if it is your own. That is unintentional plagiarism. When you are copying some material from others, you are changing only some words, but you are copying most of things, most of the phrases. And sometimes you paraphrase, but you are not attributing, you are not acknowledging, you are not thanking the people from whom you have taken the concepts. You summarize, but you are not acknowledging. You are directly quoting a source, but you are not putting the quotation mark. So all these are unintentional quotations, plagiarisms. For example, you have a quotation, you have properly marked it, but you have not mentioned it in the list of references. That is a plagiarism. Or when you're citing a source, you are improperly or inadequately citing a source. That is also an unintentional plagiarism. You are paraphrasing, but the paraphrasing is not up to the mark. It is very close to the original text. That is a plagiarism. So these are different kinds of plagiarisms. So plagiarism of authorship, you download a paper from the internet, you just to remove the name of the author, you put your name and publish it. Fine. Then plagiarism of self. So your own work, you are submitting more than once. For one work, you are trying to get more than one credit. Plagiarism of self. Then wholesale plagiarism, just like a Xerox, entire 90% of the article is copied and you are publishing it in your own name as a new paper. Patchwork plagiarism, as I told you, you get content from various resources, mix them together and prepare a collaged one. That is a patchwork plagiarism. Then comes a very popular idea plagiarism. So even you can steal the ideas of others, okay, their own interpretations, their own theories, their own analysis. Those can be stolen by you, and the same can be applied by you as if it is your own theory. It is your own interpretation. It is your own analysis. So that is called idea plagiarism. Fine. And there is another category wherein we divide the plagiarism into two groups. One is literal plagiarism, and the other is disguised plagiarism. See, literal plagiarism is very easy to spot out. We can easily detect the plagiarism because most of the times they have verbatim to verbatim copying. So you're copying as such from the original text. For example, we have copy and paste plagiarism, where 90-95% exact thing you copy and you paste it. That is called copy paste. Then comes shake and paste plagiarism. Here what we do is that you take lot of segments of lines from various places and you coherently arrange them, changing word order, or you are substituting the words with some synonymous words. You are adding some extra words. That's called shake and paste plagiarism. Then comes pawn sacrifice plagiarism. Here you have taken some content from others. You are giving citation only in the text, not in the reference list, or only in the reference list, not in the text, so that others will not be able to understand how much exactly you have copied from others. That is pawn sacrifice plagiarism. Then comes disguised plagiarism. It's somewhat difficult to detect these kinds of plagiarisms. For example, I told you about translation plagiarism. You are translating the content available in one language into another language and you publish it under your name. So it's very difficult to find out. Translation plagiarism. Then comparison plagiarism. See, there's a book written by an author, very famous author. You read the entire book. You compress the book into a 10-page article. You give a new name. You publish it under your name. That is called a compression plagiarism. Then comes dispersal plagiarism. So there is a very great book having some 20-30 chapters written by a particular author. You take this book, you divide this book into 10 to 15 chapters, okay, and you publish these 15 chapters under different titles in different journals, both print and online. That is called dispersal plagiarism. Then comes template plagiarism. See, there is a paper written by somebody on a particular topic like e-marketing. You take the paper as such, you make few changes here and there. For example, you change the name of the institution, you change the name of the country, or you change the name of the population sample size, something like that, here and there. They have collected data for 100 people, you make all the 100 into 200. So you keep the template, but you don't plagiarize. That is called template plagiarism. Fine. So these are all the different kinds of plagiarisms. So we know what is plagiarism. What are the different types of plagiarisms? Fine. So once the authors or researchers plagiarize, how it is going to be detected and how it is going to be found out. There are many mechanisms. In olden days, the reviewers should be a sound knowledge person, a widely read person. He should be able to read and understand that you have copied from somebody. But thanks to ICT and technology, nowadays a good number of tools are available for us, which will help us to detect to what extent you have copied things from others. By checking references, or very simple, go to Google, you take 4 or 5 words of your research work, you paste and check, you can easily find out to what extent you copied. Or otherwise, we have a good number of plagiarism detection softwares. There are some softwares which can be used by you to trace out the percentage of copying. For example, a long list is there. I'd like to show you a few of these things. So one is qtext.com. You can go and paste your content. You can check plagiarism. Then plagiarisma.net. Here you can copy the content or you can load from your drive. or you can select the file from your computer. You can check for the plagiarism content. Then small seotools.com. You can either paste the content or you can upload the file in all these formats, but they will check only 1000 words per search. You can do. Then we have Viper, where you can go and check for plagiarism free of cost. Then we have anti-plagiarism C. You can go and check your content. Then you have plug tracker. You can try. Duplicate checker. Either you can paste or upload your file. You can check up to 1500 words per search. You can check. Then Paperator. They provide a wonderful service. Then plagiarismdetector.net, where you can go and paste your content and check for plagiarism. Then PlugScan, a very popular European service, where you can go and upload your files, or you can copy and paste your content. You can check for plagiarism. Then plagram.com, you can paste your content and check for plagiarism. With a very popular Grammarly. Grammarly not only helps you in checking your grammar, but also it helps you in check your plagiarism. You can do that. Then unplug.com, you can paste or upload your content and check plagiarism. These are all somewhat freely available open source items, which are limited options. But when it comes to very authentic, commercial, popular softwares, in 2014-15, the Government of India, they introduced 2 anti-plagiarism softwares to be used in Indian universities, Authenticate and Turnitin. So both are very powerful softwares, very authentic softwares. This is Turnitin. But as of today, most of the state universities, now they're using Urkun software. This is a homepage of Urkun software. And these are the different file formats which are accepted by Urkun software. You can upload your content in any of these file formats. You will check for the plagiarism. After checking the plagiarism, they will give a color indicating what is the percentage of similarity, what is the similarity index. They don't say the percentage of plagiarism. They say it is similarity index. To what extent your content is similar to the content available in the database being maintained by Urkun software. Fine. Okay. But recently, in September 2020, the Urkun software, they are merged with Unplug. See, both Unplug and Urkun are from Europe. So these two software, they are merged together and a new software is born that is called as Original. So original, they added U, original. So that is a new name of Urkun. In Urkun, you can do wonderful and a very well-planned plagiarism check thanks to original. Here, you can upload your documents either through email or through API, application programming interface. Or even if you're having your learning management system, you can use that for uploading your paper. Then they will check your papers against internet resources, subscribe resources, open access resources, student materials. They will check all those things. And they will check text matching. So what text and your text is exactly matching with others. They check your paraphrasing and synonyms. If at all you have used some synonyms in the place of original text, even that is checked. And the translations from other languages. If you have copied some content from other language, when that is also being checked by original, and they give the report. Fine, good. See, some people very cleverly what they do is that when they're writing the research paper, if they have copied a lot of things from others, they will add one extra character in between the words. They will add XXX between the words. No, they will add XXX, and they will color all these extra characters as white in color, so that we will not be able to understand whether X is there or not. So when such a kind of file is uploaded to Urkun or original, they can easily find out. They'll tell you, okay, now the technology is so developed. And apart from that, even if you copied from some foreign language like Spanish, more than 100 languages, they recognize that you have copied this content from so-and-so language. Fine. So things are different. After that, I could come across one particular online program where even image can be checked for plagiarism. See, if you're having a image, you want to find out in what are all the places this particular image is used, you can go for a software called plughunter.com. Of course, many are there. Even Google, you can go for reverse image search projects. That means instead of you go and search for a picture, you give a picture you are asking the computer to find out where and all this kind of pictures used by other people. So you can try. Registration is free. You can try. You can go and upload your pictures. Okay, free account, they give limited number of pictures can be uploaded, and whenever you upload a picture, they give a result. Okay, in what are the various websites in which your picture is used, or the URL of the picture what you have supplied is used, they give statistics. Okay, so even for checking the images, nowadays you are getting a lot of plagiarism tools. Fine. So see, if the plagiarism is found out with the help of all these tools, what would be the consequences? Imagine if a particular author is found to be having done some kind of plagiarism, what would happen to him? See, if the particular author is a student, naturally he will get less grades and his project will not be accepted, and sometimes he will be expelled from the university. If it is a faculty member, so his scholarly reputation will go down. So whatever trustworthiness he has built all those years will go in vain. And sometimes he will be terminated from the job, so that he has to lose his job. And every people in the campus, even outside, they'll come to know about your termination. And you will not get any more research funding from the research funding organizations. You will lose your professional status. And apart from all, you will be put into some legal action. Okay, they'll file a case and you have to face the consequences. But you can ask me a question. Is there any government order where they talk about plagiarism and levels of punishment? Yes, of course. So University Grants Commission, so they have released the promotion of academic integrity and prevention of plagiarism in higher education institutions in July 31, 2018. So there, they categorize the plagiarism into 4 levels. If the level of similarity is less than 10%, it is 0 level. 10 to 40% level 1, 40 to 60% level 2, and more than 60% level 3. This is what they have categorized the levels of plagiarism. Fine. Suppose a student is submitting his MPhil or PhD work, so they will check his paper against some plagiarism tools. If they find out that the similarity index is less than 10%, so no problem, he will be permitted to submit his research work. If the similarity is between 10 and 40, then we will ask him to take his research back. We will give him 6 months time. Hare Baba, you sit arams for 6 months. You prepare well and come and submit your work after 6 months. Fine. Suppose if the percentage is between 40 and 60, then we are going to ask a boy or a girl to sit in the house for 1 year to thoroughly rewrite the project and come back to us with a fresh one. If it is more than 60%, then his registration for the program will be cancelled. Fine, good. Suppose one time you have found plagiarism, you asked him to rewrite it. After 6 months, he is coming back. Suppose if he is repeating the same problem again, the content is still plagiarized, then when the second time, if it is found, then he should be given the punishment which is meant for 1 level up. Okay. If you find second level plagiarism, you should give punishment which is meant for level 3 punishment. Please understand, there is a clause in UGC which even says that, see, you submit your thesis, you got your awards, then you get your increments, all those things. After 4 or 5 years also, if they are finding out that your thesis got some kind of plagiarized content, the institution is having every right to keep all your benefits in abeyance for some period. Fine. So let us be very careful. Okay. So as far as faculty members are concerned, when we are submitting our academic papers, our research papers, if it is found that the similarity percentage is less than 10%, so no problem, we can submit your papers. If it is between 10 and 40% plagiarized content in your research paper, then you will be asked to withdraw the paper. There's something called retraction. That is, whatever you submitted, you are going to take it back from the journal. Retraction is there. Suppose if the similarity is between 40 and 60%, then see, you have to withdraw your paper. And 1 year, you will not get increment. And for 2 years, you will not be permitted to guide any MPhil or PhD or PG level projects. Fine. and the plagiarism or similarity index is more than 60%, then you have to withdraw the manuscript. 2 annual increments will not be given to you. And you cannot guide any new MPhil, PhD or PG project for 3 years. These are levels of punishment prescribed for the faculty members when they publish their research papers. Fine. The same thing, if the plagiarism is repeated, then 1 higher level punishment will be given to the faculty members. And if the highest level, level 3 is repeated, then the institution will take all the efforts even to suspend or terminate the employee from his service, as per the rules which are available, which is meant for that particular higher education institution. Okay, let us be very diligent on this particular issue. Fine. And UGC Act says that when a particular content is checked against plagiarism, what things can be excluded from plagiarism? That means these aspects will not be checked for plagiarism. As everybody knows, your preface, acknowledgement, table of content, bibliography, references. So these will not be checked for plagiarism, obviously known facts. Then every subject will have a set of common terms, generic terms, common laws, very standard symbols, standard equations are there for every subject. So those generic things will not be checked. At the same time, whatever works you taken from others, if you have put them in the quotation marks with the proper attribution, that will not be checked for plagiarism. Fine. So these can be excluded from plagiarism check. Good. And they say that the original content of the author or the researcher will be checked against abstract, summary, hypotheses, observations, results, conclusions, and recommendations only. See, when this is being analyzed, I came to understand that in one university in South India, so whenever a research scholar is submitting his or her PhD, they are checking only the 3rd chapter research methodology, 4th chapter data analysis, and 5th chapter finding suggestions. So they are not checking 1st and 2nd chapter at all. At the same time, I came to understand there is another university in South India where the entire PhD thesis is checked, starting from the title page till the last page of your reference section. Everything is placed under the software for plagiarism check. So I just bewildered why there is no uniformity among the universities in following a particular standard in checking the content for plagiarism. Even there is one more issue. You will wonder, in some universities they say only 10% is permitted. In another university they say 20% is permitted. So even these kinds of fluctuations are found between the universities. So I personally feel that we should have a standard level which can be fixed for all the universities. Fine. I think that is the thing to be worried these days. Fine. Okay, let us come back to my presentation. And UGC Act again says that, see, you can exclude common knowledge. So common knowledge cannot be counted against plagiarism. And again they say, see, if you are copying something from others up to 14 continuous consecutive terms, that will not be counted. If your copying is more than 14 consecutive terms, then that can be termed as plagiarism as per UGC regulations 2018. Fine. So we have to stop plagiarism because plagiarism is having a lot of problems for us. So it is a kind of a menace. We have to rise our war against plagiarism. We have to strive against this great menace. Fine. How to do that? So far, the first part of my presentation, I was telling you, I think I was very clear, what is plagiarism? What are the different types of plagiarisms? What kinds of activities will constitute or will be termed as plagiarism? And if plagiarism is there, how we can find out plagiarism? After finding out the plagiarism and what are the consequences, both in general and from the point of view of UGC regulation 2018. Fine. So plagiarism is to be avoided. Fine. So what can we do? I personally believe there are only 2 steps. One is you have to write the things on your own. Okay. You have to write things on your own wherever is possible. You are writing the things of your research work in your own. And secondly, whenever you are copying things from others, you have to acknowledge it. Okay. You have to acknowledge. What is acknowledging? You are giving due credit to the original author. You are attributing it to the original author, saying that, Hare Baba, I have taken this idea from you, this idea from Mr. X, this concept from Mr. Y. So you are going to acknowledge, you are going to attribute, you are going to give due credit to the original author from whom you have taken the content. That is called acknowledgement. Fine. You can ask me a question, sir, what are things we are copying from others? As I told you in the introduction part, when you're writing the introduction for your research paper, you copy lot of things from others. So you have to obviously acknowledge wherever you have copied. You can see a name of the author with the year. Here, all these content, this particular author has copied, is given, attributed, acknowledged all the authors. Then review section. When you're writing the review of literature, you have to give proper attribute to the author, either name of the author with some number, or you have to give the name of the author with year of publication, and then you have to tell what you have taken from him. So in the review of literature section, you have to acknowledge the author. There's no other go. And in the discussion section, when you are comparing your findings with that of others, then also you have to give proper acknowledgement to all the sources. See, our results are similar to so and so. Our results are consistent with dash. Our results are in contrast to other studies. My results are same as that of findings of all these people. So here, all these places, you need to acknowledge the people in all these areas. The question comes, you should ask me a question. Sir, you are telling that in order to get away from the problem of plagiarism, we have to acknowledge. Please tell us what is to be acknowledged and what is not to be acknowledged. Let us be very, very clear with this. See, what is to be acknowledged? Please understand, my dear friends. See, direct quotations are to be acknowledged. Direct quotation means the exact words of the other author is taken by you, and you are going to using it exactly in the same way in your research paper. So you have to acknowledge it, because it is important that you are telling your reader that this particular content is not my content. It is a quotation I have taken from Mr. X or Y. So either in double quotes or in the intended paragraph, you should place that direct quotation. So direct quotations are to be, please understand, direct quotations are to be acknowledged. For example, here is the author, the quotation marks, original text exactly copied, placed in quotation mark. You give the name of the author, what you have exactly copied, the name of the author. You have to acknowledge direct quotations. If the number of words are more than 40, or if it crosses more than 3 lines, then you are not supposed to have the quotation as a part of the paragraph. Instead, you have to show that paragraph, the quotation, what you have taken from others exactly as such in a separate paragraph as an intended paragraph. Okay, especially when the quotation goes beyond 40 words or 3 lines. Fine. Then, so first one is direct quotations are to be acknowledged. Fine. Secondly, paraphrases. What is a paraphrase? It is an indirect quotation. So somebody has given some statement, you are reading the content, you are understanding it. After understanding, you are rewriting the same idea, same content in your own language, in your own style, in your own language pattern, without losing the meaning of the content. So that is what paraphrasing. See, some people have got a misunderstanding that, see, paraphrasing anyway, I am writing my own words, then why should I give credit to the original author? So please understand, though you have paraphrased, though you have used some other words, the content, the idea is not yours, it is others. So you have to acknowledge whenever you are paraphrasing others' content. And sometimes students, what they do know, so they'll copy something from other papers, few lines they'll paraphrase, remaining line they will leave it as such. So that is also not a good practice. You have to completely paraphrase it. See, when you're paraphrasing, if you feel that there are 1 or 2 words which are very crucial, I cannot find out better alternatives for this particular word, I want to retain these 2 or 3 important words as such in my paraphrasing, even those very important keywords are to be given in quotation marks. See, for example, you can see here, this is the original text. This is how a plagiarism takes place. So same thing, see, in the name of paraphrasing, they have just substituted The teen driver, young adult, ran his car, drove his automobile. While driving, 100 meter per hour, very quickly. Last night, yesterday. So this is not paraphrasing. Okay. So paraphrasing is understanding situation and writing the entire sentence in your own style, in your own words. For example, the previous day, young driver lost control while driving his vehicle at a high speed. This is what accepted kind of paraphrasing with the acknowledgement to the author. So here, there's a word called the biggest lie of all. If you don't want to lose this particular word, if you want to retain this word in your paraphrasing, this particular word is given within the quotes. See, this is how you have to properly paraphrase. So paraphrasing should be acknowledged. Fine. And thirdly, you have to acknowledge a summary. So for example, a person has written a 7-page article. You read the 7-page article and you take the gist of it. In one paragraph of 10 lines, you give a summary of that particular 10-page research paper. Okay, even that summary is to be properly acknowledged. You should cite the source. Thirdly, and fourthly, if you're taking the tables, figures, graphs, diagrams, images from others, they are all to be acknowledged. Then, see, for example, you are talking to your friend over a corridor in a conference meeting. You get some ideas from your friend. So that idea you are developing and you are making it a paper. So even that is to be acknowledged. You are attending a conference, you are attending a webinar, you listen to lectures. From the lecture notes, you get some ideas, and that idea you convert into research paper, a process, a method, a model. That is to be acknowledged. So even it is a verbal discussion, that is to be acknowledged. Even it is the unpublished work which is available online somewhere, if you are making use of even those unpublished works, even that is to be acknowledged. So direct quotations, paraphrases, summaries, figures, tables, and the information what you obtain from informal sources, unpublished sources. So all these things are to be acknowledged. So you may ask a question, sir, is there that everything is to be acknowledged? Is there any exclusion, policy of exclusion? Yes. See, for example, there are certain things which need not be acknowledged in your research paper. What are they? One is your own ideas. Okay, you have got your own ideas, you argue, you propose your theories, you draw your own images, you draw your own diagrams, you have your own research, your own results, you are discussing, analyzing, you are proposing. So your own content need not be acknowledged. And secondly, common knowledge. There is something called common knowledge. Unless otherwise you are giving very specific information, common knowledge items need not be acknowledged. And facts. So there are some facts like the sun rises in the east. Some facts which are available in a good number of reference books, unless otherwise they are very specific, unless otherwise they are some statistical information. These facts and all need not be acknowledged at all. Fine. For example, so as I told you, see, common knowledge can be very, very commonly available piece of information in your research field. They are very basic information. They are factual information, something related to current events. For example, I say that M.K. Stalin is the chief minister of Tamil Nadu. It is a current events. To quote this, to write this research paper, I will not go and find out any author to acknowledge this. So when we talk about a famous people, I say that Ilayaraja is a very famous musical composer. So to say this, I need not go for any acknowledgement or geographical facts. Okay, for example, the sun rises in the east. Drinking water is good in summer. Okay, and so was the first president of America. Stomach pain is very common side effect of aspirin. So these are the very, very common knowledge things which is there in a particular subject. So these common knowledge things cannot be, need not be acknowledged. Fine. And secondly, there are some familiar proverbs. There are many proverbs like you can't judge a book by its cover. At the same time, well-known quotations are there. We shall overcome. Or sometimes very, very widely known phrases are there. Expressions are there. Sayings are there. Something like the early bird gets the worm. And there are sometimes, if you take a particular subject, in that subject, some items are very, very popular, very commonly used. For example, if you take a class on psychology, for example, you are taking class in psychology or you are taking a paper in psychology, there you need not acknowledge Maslow's hierarchy of theory. Everybody knows about it. So what I want to say is that, see, all these kinds of things familiar ones, known ones, widely used ones need not be acknowledged. But if you are trying to give any exact information, then that is to be acknowledged. For example, if you are saying that drinking water is good in summer, this need not be acknowledged. But if you say that drinking 2.75 liters of water is essential in summer, then that is to be acknowledged. Fine. And please understand, there is always a difference between facts and opinions. So I told you facts need not be acknowledged, but opinions, whether you are agreeing, not agreeing, you are disagreeing with somebody, that opinion is to be acknowledged. See, for example, if I say that Ilayaraja is a good singer, everybody accepts. Ilayaraja is a good singer, no doubt in it. So you need not find any acknowledgement for this particular statement. But if you say that Ilayaraja is the best singer in the entire world, if you say this is not a fact, this is your own opinion, which is to be acknowledged properly. So please make a difference between opinion and facts. You may ask a question, sir, I have got some information, I am not able to judge whether this is a common knowledge. It's not common knowledge. Whether it is a fact or opinion, I am not able to differentiate it, sir. What to do? So very, very simple. Wherever you are having a doubt, please cite, please acknowledge the source without any second thought. Fine. Okay, good. So I told you what are the various things that are to be acknowledged. What are the various things that need not be acknowledged in your research work? Fine. So we have to acknowledge. But you can ask me a question, sir, how to acknowledge? You have been telling attribute it, acknowledge it, give due credit to author. But how to do that? That is done because or through or via referencing or citing. So referencing or citing is a process where we are going to give some label for the material that you have copied from other sources. If you go to supermarket, all the places labels are there to help you to retrieve the required materials in time. In the same way, whenever you're copying content from others, you are going to give some label to that copied content so that others will be able to locate the source. Okay, that kind of labeling process is called as referencing or citing. So why should we give referencing? Very simple. It is not my work. I have to give and acknowledge the author, original author. And secondly, so when you are giving proper acknowledgement to various authors, people will understand that, oh, this gentleman has got a wide research, a good research. And apart from that, when you are giving proper reference, see, for example, if I am quoting Sweetie Madam's one article, my research paper means, if somebody else wants to locate the same paper, my research paper should give him or her all the required particulars to enable him to retrieve that paper. So he should be able to locate the paper written by Sweetie Madam. So that kind of location particulars will be provided by this referencing. And apart from that, whenever you want to support your arguments, to support your content, you can add all these kinds of references. For example, if you want to say that Ramasamy is not a good person, if you say, people may not accept. But what you have to say is that I have found out that Ramasamy is good. You have to add something more like this. Yes, Kandasamy also found, Velchamy also found, Xavier also found. So many people are there, they all found that Ramasamy is not good. So that kind of referencing will add value to your arguments, your discussions. And apart from that, referencing will avoid plagiarism, very importantly. Fine. So you have to give referencing. Referencing is a way of acknowledging the content taken from others. I told you what is to be acknowledged, what need not be acknowledged. So out of things to be acknowledged, how to acknowledge, we are giving referencing. How to give referencing? There are three different methods of referencing. One is in-text referencing, and second is numeric referencing, and third one, footnotes referencing. So please understand, whenever you are giving reference to any particular source, it will appear at two places. One is in the body of your text, and secondly, at the end of your research paper. For example, when you're writing a review section, in the review section, you write Ramasamy 2010 told that e-commerce is not good for people in Dindigul, something like that. So in the review section, you write the name of the author with author, something like that. Under the end of the article, you give full particulars about the author, name of the author, year of publication, name of the journal, volume number, issue number, title of the paper, page number, DOI if available, URL is available. So all the required information is given as a list at the end of your research paper. Fine. So in the body of the research paper, whatever you give, that is called in-text citation. Okay. In-text citations. Whatever you give at the end of your paper, that can be called either as references or as bibliography or work cited. It all depends on what kind of style manual you follow. If you're following APA, it is called as references. If you're following Chicago, that is called bibliography. If you're following MLA, that is called work cited. Fine. So a particular author's name will appear two places. Fine. So three different methods are there. First method, in-text referencing, where within the bracket, you are going to write the name of the author along with the year of publication. Author means entry element of the author, not the initials and all. Fine. See, whenever you are giving direct quotations, you have to not only include the name of the author and year, but also the page number. Apart from that, if you are quoting any specific statistics, any specific definitions, or data taken from any particular diagram, then also you need to give the page number. For example, you take these two direct quotations. Here it is paraphrased, only the author's name and year is given. And here, since it is a direct quotation, not only the author's name, year, but also the page number are also given. So please make a note of this. Then, and whatever, for example, you have made a note of 10 research papers, all the 10 research papers are cited, maybe few in introduction, few in review section, few in discussion. So all these 10 authors are to be listed at the end of your research paper in the alphabetical order by the name references. Okay, here all the authors are arranged alphabetically. Please make a note of this. And second one is numbered referencing system. Here, after copying, either direct quotation or paraphrasing or summarizing, whatever it may be, after placing others' content, either you write superscript number like this, or you write the numbers in bracket. So for example, here, after giving the content, within the bracket, you give the numbers. Or otherwise, after giving the content taken from others, you give superscript numbers. Okay, this is a second system. In this system, what happens is that at the end of your research paper, when you're arranging all the references are to be arranged in the same order in which they appeared in the text. Same order. 1 to 3 means same 1 to 3 order. The papers are to be listed in the list of references. Fine. And thirdly, footnote style. Here, what we do is that after copying the content, we superscript the number 1, 2, 3, something like that. But in the same page, as a footnote, we are giving particulars about that particular source from which you have copied this content. Fine. This is called footnote style. And again, once again, though you are giving information about the entire paper at the bottom of each and every page, then also at the end of your research paper, there is something called a bibliography where you have to list all the papers in the alphabetical order of the author's names. Please understand this. Fine. Sometimes there is a secondary citation. So for example, I am doing a research, okay, and I refer to a paper written by Aravind. In Arvind's paper, I found out that Aravind referred to Ramaswamy's research. Please understand, I am reading the paper of Aravind. In Arvind's paper, Aravind has mentioned about the commands or messages or opinion given by Ramaswamy. Okay, fine. So I wanted to make use of the words given by Ramaswamy. Okay, so what I went and searched for the article written by Ramaswamy. I was not able to get it. So what I do is that here I go for secondary citation. How to do that? I say results from Ramaswamy study 1995 cited in Aravind 1997. That means I refer to only Aravind work. I did not actually refer to Ramaswamy's work. So this kind of secondary citation is also permitted. Fine. Suppose if you got 3 or 4 sentences, 4 or 5 research findings, all 5 research findings are giving the same answer, same point. What you can do is that after paraphrasing the concept, you can list all the author's name either in the alphabetical order or in the chronological order. Both are accepted. Fine. So you are going to make use of only two things, either direct quotation or indirect quotation. Indirect quotation includes both paraphrasing and summaries. How to use it? Very, very simple. See, same content can be used as a direct quotation. Same content is given as a paraphrase. Same content can be given as summary. It all depends on your interest. It all depends on the situation which warrants. If you feel that author's words, exact words are important, I have to reproduce it as such, then you go for direct quotation. If you feel that I just need to paraphrase, go for paraphrasing. It all depends on the situation, what you encounter in your research work. Fine. So we have direct quotations, indirect quotations. Now, how to use them actually in your research paper? Please understand, whenever you are using direct quotation in your research paper, direct quotations are to be copied exactly. Whatever is given by the author, same words, same order, same spelling, same punctuation, exactly they are to be repeated. So don't worry, even if there are one or two mistakes, also don't worry about it. You have to reproduce the exact words as such. If it is up to 40 words or 3 lines, it's okay. If it is more than 40 words or more than 3 lines, then don't enclose it in the brackets. You should not give them in quotation marks. Okay. You should place it as an indented paragraph with the proper signals. For example, so there's a long quotation. You don't want entire quotation. You want only first few sentences and last few sentences. You want to omit few sentences in between the direct quotation. In that case, you can make use of 3 dots called ellipsis. Okay, ellipsis denotes that you have omitted some portion of the quotation. So that can be done. Or see, in the quotation, if you want to include your own text, your own comment, something like that, you can have it within the circular bracket, in the square bracket. You can have a square bracket. For example, here, this is the original quotation. Here, in square bracket, you say culturally defined. So you are adding this, your content into the original quotation to make the quotation look very clear, very transparent. Fine. You can make use of square brackets. In the same way, if there are some grammatical problems in the original quotation, in order to align the original quotation in tune with your research paper, in your sentence construction, you can slightly change it by using square brackets. For example, Angela was taught from a young age to nourish your soul as well as your body. So that is not the correct way of representing content. So what you do is that in the place of your soul, I write her soul. In the place of your body, I write her body. But here the word her is given within square brackets because it is a word you are incorporating in the original quotation. So please make a note of all these things when you are including direct quotations in your research paper. Then paraphrasing. Paraphrasing means others' idea you are going to write in your own language, in your own style. How to do that? You can make use of synonyms. Instead of help, you can use assist. Instead of construct, you can make a bill. So you can make use of apt synonyms, firstly. And secondly, you can change the word forms. Accountants are expected to know. There is an expectation that, so you can change the word form when you are trying to paraphrase. Sometimes active voices can be changed into passive voices. Passive voice sentences can be converted into active voice sentences. Even that kind of structure of sentences can be changed when you are trying to paraphrase a particular content. And sometimes you take one content, when you want to paraphrase it, you can read, understand, you can explain it. By explain the quotation, you can paraphrase. So these are different techniques you can use to paraphrase a particular content. What about summarizing? You have an essay, read the essay once, identify main points, strike out whatever points you don't require. Then you take a piece of paper, take notes of important points in your own words. With the help of all the notes which you have prepared in your own words, you prepare a summary. You read the summary once again and check whether summary is exactly replicating or indicating the content of the original paper. If it is okay, give proper reference. So that is how you have to write the summary for a reference work. Fine. And whether you are taking the direct quotation or paraphrasing, please understand All these quotations are paraphrasing what you have taken from so many people should not be just like that dropped in your research paper here and there. They should not be left to function as orphans in your research paper. They should not be hanging here and there. So what you need to do is that you need to integrate all these quotations and paraphrasing into your research work. As a part and parts of your research work, they are to be viewed. They are to be integrated into your research paper. How to do that? For example, there are 4 different methods of integrating direct quotations. How to do that? You have to introduce the quotation with a complete sentence. You give a complete sentence to introduce the quotation, give a colon, and then give the quotation. It's one way of integrating your quotation. And secondly, you have a phrase, okay? Have a phrase, give a comma, and then you give the quotation. That is another second method of integrating quotation into your research work. Either use a complete sentence or use a paraphrase, or you introduce a quotation with a connecting statement, connecting word like that. For successful communication, dash and dash author argue that, then you give the exact quotation. You can make use of the word that to connect the quotation. And fourthly, you mix the quotation as a part and parts of your sentence. Something like this is encoded not only in the semantic structure of a language, but also in its idiomatic expressions. So these 2 are quotations which are viewed as a part and parcel of your sentence. So this way, don't just like that leave the quotations in your research paper. Your quotations are to be integrated well enough into your content. Fine. Then, whatever longer quotations, please understand, whenever your quotation is more than 40 words, you have to take it a separate paragraph with no quotation marks. They are to be indented, leaving some more margin on the left side. But while you are doing so, make note of few points. One is, before the long quotation, you should introduce the quotation. You are going to tell the readers that the next para, what you are going to see as an indented one is not my content. It is a content taken from others. You have to give a signal. So you are introducing the long quotation. Once the long quotation is over, you just don't leave it as such. Because after long quotation, you are going to tie the content of your research work to the long quotation. You are going to link your content to the information available in this particular quotation. So these 2 lines, introducing the long quotation and linking your content, should be there between the long quotation. You have to make a note of this one. Then what about indirect quotations? I think I'll take 5 more minutes. Okay, good. Then indirect quotations. So whenever you are paraphrasing or summarizing, when you want to integrate the paraphrased content or summarized content into your research paper, please understand you can make use of any one method. Either you can go for author prominent paraphrasing, or you can go for information prominent paraphrasing. See, whenever you feel that author is more important than what you are paraphrasing, you can go for author prominent paraphrasing. For example, Neri argues that, according to Maloney, identified racer. So author's name are given importance. If you feel that, see, author's name don't matter, only content is very important. What you can do is that, give the content. At the end of the content, you can just go and add the name of the author in square brackets or circular brackets. So that is called information prominent paraphrasing. So as a researcher, you decide whether your paraphrasing, your summary needs author prominent one or message prominent one. That you decide. Fine. Then whenever you are adding the paraphrasing, you try to give sufficient action words to reveal the exact opinion or feelings of the original author. For example, instead of telling Vijay states that, it's a very normal way. If you tell Vijay disputes this theory and claims that, if you give such a kind of action words, that will reflect the opinion or feelings of the authors much, much better. So a lot of keywords are there, action words are there. You can say so-and-so are the defended, disputed, described, convinced, commented, investigated, refuted, suggested, persuaded. So these are a few keywords, action words, which can be used whenever you want to integrate the paraphrasing or summarizing as a part of your research work. Fine. Now we have come to the fake end of the presentation. Sir, you told us that what is plagiarism, types of plagiarism, what are the consequences of plagiarism, how to detect plagiarism, and how to acknowledge the sources, how to prepare in-text citation, and what about the references, different methods are there, fine. But how do we know how to write in-text citation and list of references for various sources? We have journal articles, books, book chapters, we have videos, we have YouTube videos, we have blog posts, we have Twitter posts, we have newspaper articles. So we have websites, many number of varieties of information sources are available. If I have to prepare in-text citation and list of reference for all these different kinds of materials, my whole research life will be over. So is there any shortcut for preparing the in-text citation and the list of references? Yes. But whatever the method, you should follow a particular standard so that whatever material, others material you are incorporating into your research work are properly referred to, properly labeled. So that is called as a citation style. You are going to follow a standard method. Many citation styles are there, starting from American Psychological Association, Chicago style, Modern Language Association, IEEE, Vancouver, Throbian style, then Nature style. You will not believe more than 3,000 citation styles are there. Is it possible for you to remember all these 3,000 plus citation styles for doing research work? That is humanly impossible. So what we do is that we have to learn how to write this in-text citation and list of references. Only 4 methods are there. One is, if you want to learn APA, American Psychological Association, you purchase a book, some 350 pages, you read all the pages, learn it, use it, no problem. First method. Second method, you can make use of MS Word to generate both in-text citations and list of references. MS Word is sufficient. Otherwise, there are some online bibliography generators. You can go online, you can give input, you can generate the in-text citation and the list of reference in any style you like. You need not learn any style. Fine. Online generators. And fourthly, there are some softwares, desktop softwares, citation management softwares, reference management softwares. Download the software, install them in your computer. Then you can go and feed all the data and you can get the reference in-text citation and the list of references in any style which is supported by that particular software. Fine. Good. Okay. MS Word. You go to MS Word. There's an option called references. You click that. Here you can say insert citation, manage sources, style, whether you want APA or MLA, Chicago, Throbian, all those things. Even using MS Word, you can generate both in-text citation and list of references. One method. And second method, a good number of free online citation and bibliography tools are available. For example, we have EasyBib, where you can go and generate in-text citation references in many different styles. Then BibMe, then Citation Machine, then CiteFast, then EZBib. EZBib is very superb. You can try this. Then, as I told you, there are some softwares which can be downloaded into your system. We have EndNote. Zotero is free. It's a very superb software you can try. Then Quiqua, Japref, Mendeley is superb software which can be downloaded into your system. You can try. So, last but not least, I got 2 slides and tell you. So, apart from all these acknowledged resources, there are few things you have to remember and bear in mind to avoid plagiarism. One is take careful notes. So whenever you are taking some content from any resource, you keep a record of all the sources. If you're taking some quotation, you put them in quotation in your notebook. If you're taking paraphrasing, you write the name of the author and all the particulars, whatever you need. So have a proper record management system for all your notes. Secondly, plan carefully. You have to start early. See, if you have to submit your research paper in the month of June, start from January. Don't start on January 1. Don't start on June 1st. You have to start early. If you're starting early, you'll get plenty of time to think and work on your paper. Don't procrastinate. There are some people, they keep on postponing. So I'll do tomorrow. I'll do next week. So procrastination is a great thief of time that will indulge you, propel you to go for all shortcut methods. So don't procrastinate. Attend some courses. There are a lot of courses being organized. How to write reviews, how to write, how to make use of Mendeley, how to make use of online citation generators, how to improve language writing. Many courses are there. Don't hesitate. Go and join some course and learn how to write proper references and ask for help. Don't hesitate. So if you don't know something, either ask your HOD or your friends, or ask your librarian, or ask your teachers, research supervisors. So they will be able to guide you. And very importantly, you take a little pain of doing your own work. Don't be lazy. So dear participants, let's be honest and creative. Let us be genuine. Let's be hardworking. Let's be very, very sincere. Let's follow all the research ethics so that we will produce the plagiarism-free research papers. So that will help both us and our institution to add more feathers to our ground. So thank you so much for this nice opportunity. I am grateful to the organizers for having given this great opportunity. My presentation is over. I am thankful to all the websites, all the resources from where or from whom I have copied necessary images and content required for doing this particular PPT. Thank you so much, participants, and thank you so much. Now is the time for question and answer. I am open to the forum. Either you can ask questions or you can leave the questions in your chat box. Whatever you feel, you can go ahead, please.
Thank you, sir. Participants, can you please raise your hands if you have questions?
One money John raise hand.
Yes.
May I know the question from her?
Yes, sir.
Participant, you can unmute yourself and you can ask a question, or you can give your question in chat box. Please, as you like.
It's a good, sir. Thank you for a wonderful and informative session. I also thank the organizers for a very informative session, useful sessions, all through the 8 days, sir. Sir,
Thank
my
you, ma'am.
question.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, I am Ponmani from Trichy, sir. I am a research scholar.
Okay, ma'am.
Currently doing my MPhil project. My topic
Okay.
is impact of organizational culture on employee performance.
Okay, ma'am.
So I just started my education and research career after a few years of work and family life. So it's
Okay.
all new thing for me, plagiarism research and all.
Okay.
So I just want to check with you, sir, if I'm writing the introduction part up to 30 pages for my research. So I need to write some models to suggest the company for changing the organizational culture completely.
Okay.
So the model takes at least 7 pages of the author's content.
Yes.
How to avoid the plagiarism in that, sir? Because if I change all the statements and even also I mention the author's name, I cannot change the original content because it is a model. So I need to mention the details clearly.
Fine, madam. Fine. You're right. See, model means only the exact model you take. For example, even you have a lot of models. For example, we have a technology acceptance model. You take only the core of the model. Okay. While you are going to explain the model, you use paraphrasing or use summarizing. Don't use exact words. Fine. To show the model, you show the model as it is, without any alterations. But when you're explaining the model, you go for either paraphrasing or summarizing. Only to accommodate all these kinds of adjustments, they are giving some 10%, 20%, 30%. So only because these are the inevitable things, there's no other go, we cannot change it. Only for such kind of content, the institutions may provide you around 10%, 20% relaxation. Okay.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. All the best, ma'am.
Welcome.
Okay, next participant, please.
Hello.
Sir, please, sir.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Sir, good evening, sir. Please go ahead, sir.
Sir, I am Manishankar calling from Madhiprasad Tea College, sir.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead, sir.
Sir, a wonderful presentation, sir.
Sir, please go ahead with the question. Sir, Manishankar, sir.
Sir.
Sir, ask your question, sir.
Sir, more citation if you give in the thesis, it will reduce the value, sir.
More? Once again, sir, more?
More citation or reference or more of a reference when we do in the thesis,
Yes,
it will reduce the value, sir.
No, sir, it will increase the value. See, when you are referring to more paper, more people, it means that you have studied lot of research papers in your research field. You have incorporated lot of ideas. You have corroborated or contrasted with a lot of previous researchers. You are trying to place your research exactly in the whole research world. So that is to be
Okay.
appreciated, sir.
Okay. There is any limitation, sir, for that?
No, sir. See, for example, if we in our side, no, in our side, no, if it's a PhD, they say 100. In PhD, they say 100 reviews, they say. If it's MPhil, they say 60 reviews. PG project, they say 40 reviews. So such kind of limitations are fixed in the university levels. Sir. There is no such fixed rules. See, if you refer to a foreign paper, even a paper will be of only 6 to 7 papers, 7 pages, but number of reference may be some 100, 120.
Okay,
you
sir.
better refer a lot of foreign papers. Thank you for your question, sir.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Yes, madam, please go ahead.
Good evening, sir. A very really informative section, sir.
Thank
Sir,
you.
I have a doubt.
Please.
I heard that there are you showed us that there are many plagiarism websites, no, sir?
Yes, yes.
In that, if we put our content and if we get that report, they says that part will be 100% stored in the computer. Then later, when the real responsible person, like if the article when we submit, when they check, they said it, when they check, it become 100% plagiarism. Is it true or wrong, sir?
50-50 because there are some websites. Okay, there are some websites. If you put your content to check it against plagiarism, after checking the content, they will remove your content from their repository. Okay, they openly ask you, they openly tell you that your content will be deleted from our repository after 30 minutes, after 1 hour. They say that. There are some people, they will not remove your content. Your content also will be added as a part and part of the repository, so that when you're going to submit your research paper in university, it will show 100%. So my sincere advice is that, kindly don't fall prey to all these freely available online plagiarism checkers. If you want to check your paper, straight away go to your university, maybe authenticate or return it in, or go for Urkun. You check your paper. This is absolutely wrong. Even a percentage is more also, they will tell you, you get the result, come back to your home, sit and work again, reduce the percentage, go to them. So my request, so I just showed you that there are some options. You can use all those options, maybe when you're writing a small paper for your class seminar work, or you are trying to prepare something for a conference paper, such kind of miniature research works, you can make use of those freely available online platforms. But when you talk about PG project, MPhil project, or PhD project, or your minor research project, I kindly request you not to go into all these freely available small anti-plagiarism softwares. Kindly go for either authenticate or return it in or Urkun. Fine.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. Please go ahead.
Yes, I think right now the person who had just asked is quite similar. So you said that go to the better not to go to the freely available in terms of checking the flag. So just want to ask you, in case I don't have the access of the university as individual doing the research to check the plagiarism, how will do I have to buy, or how is it, sir?
No need, no dear. See, you will not believe. I am talking a small town in Tamil Nadu state. Even in my own town, you will not believe. It's a very small town, very not populated very much also. Here is a college, arts and science college. They have purchased Urkun software, okay, and they are giving the service. For example, if you want to check your research paper of 6 pages, 10 pages, you have to pay 50 rupees. If you want to check your PG project, 100 rupees. If you want to check your entire PhD work, they are charging 150 rupees. Like that, I know there are 3 colleges. There are 3 colleges, to the knowledge of myself, in Tamil Nadu. They are offering this particular service. Okay, you can make use of such kind of services to get your paper checked against plagiarism. Okay.
Okay. What about if I want to, then is it very expensive, or how?
Very expensive, very, very expensive. See, if you go for authenticate, turn it in Urkun, they'll cost more than 2 or 3 lakhs per year.
Yes, sir.
Per year. Okay. So better you approach some of your friends, those are having this software. You pay little amount of service charge, they will check and give you. Fine.
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, send it to me. I'll help you out. Okay.
Oh, amazing, sir. Then I shall get it.
Please,
okay,
please.
Sir.
You can send it to me. I will check it or I will direct you to a person, to the college where they are doing this service. for a nominal rate. They will do it for you. Okay.
Share me your email ID so that you know.
But with pleasure, I will place it in the chat box, please.
Oh, sir, that's great. Thank you so much, sir.
Yes,
I am
fine.
very new in terms of this research field, and yes, I want to write a journal as well as the book. So one thing confusion came to my mind is, what is the basic difference between when we have to write a book chapter, if someone called for a chapter in the book, and then writing an article journal? So what is the main thing between these two in terms of the format, or how is it, sir?
I don't find much difference between these two things, except maybe in terms of journal articles, you have to be very focused on the expectation of a journal. It will go through a very, very tedious peer review process. It will go for many rounds of corrections, revisions, editing checkup, this, that, and all. It is a laborious process. It takes time. But in the term of book chapters, I don't find that strict peer review process being adopted for book chapters. And mostly book chapters, they don't have these abstract and all. They don't have abstracts. They straight away start the content. And book chapters normally will be lengthy in nature. So normally a book chapter will be around minimum 15 pages, 20 pages. But articles, maybe some even 4 pages, 5 pages also articles may be there. But otherwise, no, almost both are same. I don't find much difference between these two things.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
But people go for journal articles because journal articles have the capacity to reach millions of people if it is going to be available online. If it is cited, you'll get more citations. Your H index, G index, all those things will be improving. You can score better. That may not be very much possible in the case of book chapters, unless otherwise the book chapter is going to be available online. If it is a printed book, only 10 or 20 people will be having this book. Nobody else will use this book for the purpose of citations. So you will not get any citations. So people normally, they prefer to go for journal articles.
Okay, sir. Thank you. My third question is, if someone, so if I like their people call for chapter and they want to see our abstract or a proposal, do we need to have a citation there also? Not required, right? Or how is it, sir?
No, even for book chapters, you have to see whether you are doing a book chapter or a research paper or a review paper or conceptual paper, or empirical paper or meta-analysis paper, whatever you do, if you borrow the content of others, absolutely you have to cite your paper.
Okay, sir. The last thing is, which is a very, very basic thing. I don't know whether I'm asking right or wrong, but
please go ahead. Don't hesitate. Please go ahead. Yes. Don't hesitate. Please go ahead.
Thank you so much, sir. What is the main difference between the introduction and the conclusion?
Okay. See, in the introduction, you are going to tell the people what is the area being explored by you. First point. What is the area being explored by you? Why this particular area needs some kind of research as on now? What is the purpose of your present research work? Fine. So these 3 things are covered in introduction part. So you are telling what is the research area, why you need to do research in this particular area, and what is the purpose of your research in the introduction part. Okay. In the conclusion part, after completing your entire findings, you have objectives, hypotheses, and you have all the question answer session, this, that, and all. In the conclusion, you are telling to what extent you are able to achieve the objectives. Whether your objectives are met, hypotheses are proved or not proved. Whether you are giving any suggestion for the future researchers to take up your study to the next level. Do you have any kind of suggestions leaving research gap for the future researchers? Or you are talking something about application of your findings in real life situations? Fine. So all these things can be given in conclusion.
Okay.
Am I clear?
Yes, sir. Very, very clear. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Will take down your email, and sir, I'll connect to you. Thank you so much.
Okay. So kind of you. My email ID is already I have placed in the chat box. You can make a note of it.
Yes, sir.
Is there any other question?
Okay, sir. We can end the session.
Yes, madam. Thank you, madam. Thank you so much, audience. Thank you so much, Vichi, madam, for this wonderful opportunity.
One second, sir. Fatima, ma'am, have you joined, ma'am? Ma'am? Ma'am?
Hello, ma.
Yes,
Hello.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am. So we will start, ma'am. A day without prayer is a day without blessing, and a life without prayer is a life without power. We will start this valedictory program with a small prayer. I call Professor Plagiarism to say the prayer.
Our Heavenly Father, we praise you and we adore you. We humbly surrender ourselves under the feet, O Lord. Protect us and guide us. We thank you and praise you for all your grace throughout this pandemic and all these days. We pray for our management, teaching and non-teaching staffs, students, and for our family. Guide us and guard us. We specially thank and praise for your grace for this 8 days PDP program. We thank and praise you for the resource persons on this 8 days professional development program. Bless them with good health, O Lord. Help us and guide us to organize more events and programs for the welfare of our students and staff in coming days of Lord. We pray for our department staff, students, our participants, and for our family. Kindly guide us, protect us, deliver us from this pandemic with your grace. Let your guardian angel be us to protect now and forever. We again surrender ourselves under the feet and ask all these things in the name of our Lord. Amen.
Thank you, sir. Welcome the challenges. Look for the opportunities in every situation to learn and grow in wisdom. Now, I call Professor Danny, IQAC coordinator, to give welcome address.
Good evening, everybody. It is really a privilege for me to be here in this August gathering. Being the IQAC coordinator, it is my job to take care of and ensure quality in the education standards of the college. And with that view in mind, organizing this particular professional development program on quality research writing was something that was very dear to my cause of promoting quality in the educational scenario of the college. And that being said, it is a joy that I have been able to be here at this valedictory session. The past 8 days, I am sure, would have been a wonderful sessions of information exchange and knowledge dissemination to one and all of the participants gathered here. At this juncture, I welcome in our midst all those who have been here with us for the past 8 days. Especially, I extend my welcome to our Director and Secretary, Brother Dr. S. R. Kiraj, our Academic Director who is in our midst today, Dr. Fatima Vasant, our Principal, Dr. Usha George, our Vice Principal of Shift 2, Dr. Geeta Rufus, and of Shift 1, Dr. B. Meena. We thank you for your continuous support and guidance towards this program. I also welcome our resource person of day 8, Dr. K. Ramansamy, as well as other resource persons who may have joined us today. I take this time to extend my welcome to all the participants who have been so gracious to participate along with us in this knowledge sharing session and grow their knowledge base with regards to effective research writing. I also welcome to the gathering all the organizing secretaries and the organizing committee. Thank you so much for making your presence here with us today. All good things must come to an end, and therefore today we are here at this valediction session. I hope that the past 8 days have been days of invigoration and refreshment to your skills, your knowledge, and therefore bringing an output to your behavior in research writing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now, I invite Dr. Fatima Vasant, our academic director, for felicitation.
Good evening, everyone. I'm very happy to take part in this valediction function of the 8 days professional development program organized by the Department of Commerce of the Patrician College. At the outset, I congratulate Dr. Sweetie, the team leader, and her entire team for organizing a wonderful program. I just joined to listen to the question answer session, and I was also listening to the resource person who was taking the questions and who was very professionally in a very learned manner answering these questions. I want to congratulate Dr. Ramasamy for this wonderful session. I listened only to the last part of it, but you are a very scholarly person, and the type of references you have given is really inspiring, and I'm sure that the audience have learned quite a lot from the valuable inputs that you have given them today. My appreciation to you, to the resource persons. The 8 days has been full of knowledge sharing. I have seen the program schedule. The organizers have very meticulously worked out topics of great value for each day, and they have also selected wonderful resource persons to be sharing their experience and knowledge. Dear participants, from the type of messages that you are sending, I understand that you have gained quite a lot, that you are very happy with the program, that you are very happy the way the program was organized and the topics that were covered during this PDP. Now, what always say, there is a proverb which says, you can only take the horse to the pond, but you can't force the water into his throat. It can be led, it can be shown the source, it can be shown the place, the resources, but it cannot be forced. And that is the stand I take today for all researchers. We can only show the different opportunities. We can show the various resources that are available, and we can accompany. I have personally been a researcher, a research supervisor, and I'm glad to, at this juncture, share I have produced 31 PhDs during my career, and always I used to tell my scholars, I can only be a facilitator. I can only guide you. I can motivate you, but then task accomplishment is their personal responsibility. So we have given you all the inputs today. We have told you how to progress and how to seek help when you get stuck in your research work. And therefore today, dear participants, I'm sure that you have all been inspired and you have all been able to gather information, and I'm sure you're going with a determination that you will carry out your research work. If you want to be a very progressive, successful academician, and if you want to really shine in your career, research career, you need to be learning every day. And this is your one method or one attempt for continuing education. So once again, let me congratulate Dr. Sweetie, the team, Department of Commerce, all the resource persons, particularly today's resource person, who has done a wonderful job and may you be motivated and inspired to carry on research, rigorous research. There is no progress without research, and you will perish if you don't publish. This is what I used to say often. So all the best to you budding scholars and to you who are pursuing research. And I'm sure that this program will motivate you and take you forward. Thank you very much for this opportunity, and all the best again to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your words of appreciation. Now, I request Dr. Geeta Rufus, Vice Principal, for the felicitation.
Ma'am, you are muted, ma'am.
Sorry, ma. I thought, okay. Good evening to all. On behalf of the management, Reverend Brother Dr. S. Arokiraj, our Director and Secretary, our beloved Academic Director, Dr. Fatima Vasant, our Principal, Dr. Usha George, our Vice Principal of Shift 1, Dr. Meena. I would like to congratulate the Department of Commerce Shift 2, headed by Dr. Sweetie and her team, comprising of Mr. Plagiarism and Mr. Janathanan, and the IQAC coordinator, Dr. Daniel Phoenix Chalk. My appreciations to you for organizing this 8-day International Professional Development Program on effective and quality research writing, which is the need of the hour. We know, as our academic director had said, you perish if you do not publish. So it is very important that all of us know to write research articles. As a professor, as an academician, it is very, very important we know how to write research articles. And I'm very happy this is the second annual event of the Commerce Shift 2, where we had the same kind of response last year, where 750 candidates, students had registered for this professional development program. Today, we find, again, there are nearly 700 participants who have registered for this program. Our thanks to all the participants who have had the confidence in us and registered for this program. And I hope this program had been very fruitful to all the research scholars and to all the research guides who had taken part today. And my special thanks to all the resource persons who had accepted our invitation and given their high-tech resources for writing research articles. We thank each and every one of you who had given your best, because I got feedback that some of the resource person wanted to continue, wanted to attend the entire 8-day research program. And I'm very happy about it. Thank you so much. And we wish the Commerce Department all the best. And we thank all the participants for participating in this professional development program organized by Patrician College of Arts and Science. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your wonderful support and encouragement in organizing this 8 days professional development program. Feedback is the breakfast of champions, said Ken. Now, I request our participants to give their feedbacks. Firstly, I request Father Sagaya Raj, Principal, Don Bosco College, ERCOT, to give his feedback.
Good evening, everybody. This is Father Sagaya Raj. Am I audible?
Yes, Father. Yes, Father.
I am also doing my research in part-time mode. I'm happy to know that our Patrician College has come forward to once again to articulate this special emphasis on this research area. And last year also I attended, and it is very useful, very informative, very informative. And all the resource persons chosen for this 1 week of program were well arranged and very systematic and very methodic. So on behalf of the research scholars, I would like to thank everyone, starting with the management, people who are in the top level management, the principal, academic directors, vice principal, and all the staff members who were collaborating with the HOD, and especially the HOD ma'am, Dr. Sruti Regina, who was spearheading the entire work for past 1 week. I know that it's not an easy task, but the ma'am has managed to coordinate everyone, and it came out very successfully. So thank you once again, all the staff members, all the resource persons, and especially the management and the HOD ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Father. Now I request Dr. Dharmender Mehta, Associate Professor and former Director, JNIBM, for the feedback.
Vanakkam, everybody. Vanakkam, namaskaram. Shubh Sandhya. It was a wonderful event. Last 7 days bondage, I cannot forget the bondage they have created. I am speaking and I've been connected almost 2,000 kilometers away from 5,000 years old ancient holy city of Ujjain. It is in Madhya Pradesh. You must have heard the name of the Lord Vikramaditya. So I was attending this very great, wonderful FDP from 5,000 years old ancient city of Ujjaini. And what a wonderful event it was. There was wonderful motivation. The motivation came on the very first day when Principal Sir, Academic Director Madam, Vasanta Madam, Dr. Usha George Madam, Dr. Geeta Rufus Madam, Meena Ma'am, Kalai Saran Sir, and I think the lady behind the show, Dr. Sweetie, she must needs a big round of clap. Shift 2 in charge. She could assemble all these, 500, 700 plus people. We are unable to manage 60 students in a class, but arranging learned people amounting to 500 plus daily, 497. I used to see attendance 497. Sometimes it used to 499, 495. So arranging all these people online, including our distinguished speakers every day, and wonderful quality of talk. Every lecture was, excellent in terms of content, the delivery, the experience sharing, the inputs they were giving to the audience. Everything was very, very systematic, and we were learning new things in all sessions. And speakers, I am unable to even, I can say all speakers were giving one by one. They were trying to give the research methodology, the blunders we should avoid in methodology, how to get our paper published, how to avoid plagiarism. Even today's talk was an excellent talk just before the validity session. And I think behind the show, Dr. Sweetie, people from North India, people from South India, people from Maharashtra, people from Goa, from Gujarat, from Bengal, all over. It was a mini India show. Running a show 4 to 6 daily on evening with 500 people is never easy. When it gets completed, we start greeting. But right from I think 15 days, 1 month back, when I got my first email back from Dr. Sweetie, and every email she was meticulously replying. I have been highly impressed by the organizing capability of this Petition College top management, the top management of Petition College, the principal ma'am, the academic director madam, Mr. Kalai Saranji, Mr. Janardhan, co-host, Mr. Daniel sir, Meena ma'am, Usha George ma'am, Dr. Geeta refers, just she was addressing us, and then we had the Vasant ma'am, your principal sir. Everybody was behind the show, and there were the high level of involvement. Participants asking questions. See the amount of chat box. Our chat box used to be daily flooded with lots of relevant questions. Sometimes questions are there, and even organizers were providing all supports. They were giving us all kind of help, good quality of content. And I must thank Daniel Jelke sir, Janardhan sir, Kalai Saran sir, Ramaswamy ji, Saday Raj, Dr. K. Heman, and then person Elizabeth, and even I think Dr. Sweetie Regina Mary. She must have a big clap from all of the audience, by way of marking our the gesture, net gesture we can always put on the net. So it goes, every lecture was starting on time. And what I was most impressive about the total time management, punctuality, the feedback link coming on time, the feedback link be posted, it's a reply. So right from our delegation fee to the still last moment going on, our all heartfelt thanks to the organizer for arranging very systematic, meticulous, knowledgeful, resourceful event. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to one and all.
Thank you, sir. I request Dr. Sweetie Regina Mary, Head Department of Commerce, Shift 2, to deliver vote of thanks.
Try not to become a man of success, but rather than try to become a man of value. First, I thank God Almighty for his showers of blessing throughout the professional development program. And on behalf of Patrician College of Arts and Science, I thank all who have taken time to attend all the 8-day session. We are happy to inform that like last year, this year also we have received more than 500 participants, and we hope that you all found the professional development program to be more informative and worthwhile. And our primary goal of the program was to make you as an effective and quality research writers. I thank all the resource persons of this PDP program, and they have given us a more detailed information on it and for clarifying all our doubts. And I take this opportunity to thank our director and secretary, Brother Dr. Arokya Raj, our academic director, Dr. Fatima Vasant, our principal, Dr. Usha Jaj, and I thank our vice principal, Dr. Geeta Rufus, and Dr. Meena to guide and support us in all possible ways to conduct this program. And I thank my department faculty, Professor Plagiarism and Professor Janathan, for their support in organizing this successful event. And also I thank Father Sahay Raj and Dr. Dharmendra Mehta for giving a good feedback for this event. Once again, I thank all the participants for your enthusiastic participation. Thank you. Stay safe and healthy. Thank you.
Dear participants, we have started sending your certificates to your mails. Kindly check your mail. Within 10 minutes, you will receive your certificates to your registered mail IDs. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
It was
Thank you, sir.
wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Time was constant. Even time was constant, so we were not able to, give our full, all kind of appreciation to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Danny, sir. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Switi ma'am, shall I leave the meeting? Thank you so much.
Sorry. Thank you, sir. Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Yes,
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sweetie ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, City ma'am. Thank you so much, City ma'am, for all arrangements.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
And all follow up.
Thank you, sir.
May God bless you all. Good health.
Thank you, sir.
Ma'am, Sweetie ma'am, stop recording now.
Uh-huh.